In the universe of celebrities, where emotions are often displayed under bright lights and before watchful cameras, few moments possess the power to touch the hearts of millions, like the one where Steve Harvey, the renowned talk show host, was profoundly moved by a message from Keanu Reeves. This episode, which occurred during a broadcast of The Steve Harvey Show, not only revealed the vulnerability of a television icon, but also highlighted the humanity behind the spotlights and the authentic connections that can arise between personalities from different walks of life. Steve Harvey, known for his contagious energy and sharp humor, has built a solid career as a host, comedian, and author. His show, which addresses everything from family relationships to relevant social issues, has become a meeting point for celebrities and ordinary people, offering a platform for sincere and engaging discussions. However, not even Harvey's vast experience prepared him for the emotional impact that a simple message could cause. Harvey's television career has always been marked by his ability to connect with the audience. With his natural charisma and a unique ability to transform everyday stories into memorable moments, he has won fans worldwide. His characteristic laugh and his honest way of addressing sensitive topics have become his trademark. In each episode, Harvey brings not only entertainment, but also reflections on life and human relationships. The occasion was a segment of the show where celebrities share personal messages, usually inspiring or humorous, with the audience and guests. This format, which had become a viewer favorite, allowed for moments of genuine connection, transcending the barriers between the famous and their admirers. When it was Keanu Reeves's turn, anticipation was high, as the actor rarely participated in television shows of this nature. Keanu Reeves, a globally known star famous for his roles in films like The Matrix and John Wick, has a reputation for being reserved and introspective, but also for demonstrating genuine kindness and empathy. His journey in Hollywood was never just about stardom, but about a man who, despite personal tragedies and the challenges of fame, remained authentic and compassionate. Stories about his discreet generosity and humility are often shared by those who cross his path. His message, sent via a pre-recorded video, was intended for a fan going through a difficult time. The show's production had received countless letters from viewers sharing their struggles and stories, and one in particular had caught their attention, that of a person facing serious health and emotional challenges. The team, recognizing the power of an encouraging word from someone admired, contacted Keanu, who readily agreed to record a message. Imagine the scene. The studio lights shine brightly, the audience is lively, and Harvey, with his charismatic presence, masterfully hosts the show. The atmosphere is a mix of energy and expectation, with laughter and applause echoing through the speakers. At the center of it all, Harvey, wearing one of his elegant suits, enthusiastically announces the next segment. Suddenly, the mood shifts as Keanu's video begins playing on the large studio monitors. Keanu appears seated in a calm, almost minimalist setting, his eyes conveying a quiet serenity. He speaks directly to the camera, his voice soft and sincere, expressing words of encouragement and support, each syllable carrying genuine concern. Keanu's message was simple, yet profound. I want you to know that, whatever you're facing, you are not alone. We all go through difficult times, but it's in these moments that our inner strength is revealed. Keep faith, keep fighting, and remember that there are people who care about you. Each word was spoken with rare authenticity, reflecting not just the script given to him, but a personal conviction born from his own life experiences. There was an almost meditative quality in the way Keanu addressed the fan. Without frills or drama, he spoke as if he were in the room with that person, as if the world around had disappeared and only that human connection existed. His voice, usually associated with action characters or philosophical dialogues in his films, now carried a kindness that seemed almost palpable, crossing the screen barrier to touch not only the recipient, but everyone present. As Keanu spoke, Steve Harvey's expression gradually changed. Initially, there was a smile of approval on his face, a recognition of the beauty of the gesture. But as the actor's words touched deep points of empathy and compassion, Harvey began showing signs of emotion that went beyond simple appreciation. It was as if Keanu's words had found an echo in his own life experiences, in his own moments of difficulty and overcoming. His eyes, usually bright and full of life, filled with tears that he initially tried to hold back. Harvey, a man known for his ability to maintain control in any situation, for his presence of mind and professionalism, now found himself in unexpected emotional territory. He lowered his head, visibly moved, allowing himself to be vulnerable before millions of viewers. A gesture that, paradoxically, demonstrated admirable inner strength. The audience, which until then had been laughing and applauding, actively participating in the show's energy, fell silent, sensing the depth of the moment. It was as if an invisible wave of emotion had swept through the studio, connecting everyone present in a shared experience of empathy. In that instant, the barriers between celebrities and viewers, between the stage and the audience, seemed to have completely dissolved. This ensuing silence was like a collective reverence for the power of sincere words and human vulnerability. The contrast with the earlier animation made the moment even more impactful. The cameras captured not only Harvey's reaction, but also the attentive and emotional faces of the studio audience, many of them also with tears in their eyes, creating a visual mosaic of human connection that transcended individual differences. The moment was captured by the show's cameras with remarkable sensitivity, alternating between close-ups of Harvey's face, the image of Keanu on screen, and the audience's reactions. Quickly, these images spread across social media, generating huge buzz that crossed borders and time zones. Within hours, millions of people around the world had watched that brief exchange which, in its simplicity, managed to capture something essential about the human condition. Many viewers immediately identified with Keanu's message and Harvey's reaction, seeing it as confirmation that even the most iconic figures in pop culture are not immune to humanity and vulnerability. Social media comments expressed gratitude for that moment of authenticity in a medium often criticized for its superficiality. "It was like they were talking directly to me," wrote one fan. "I never thought I'd see Steve Harvey so emotional, and it made me feel like it's okay to be vulnerable," commented another. This moment was much more than just an episode of a talk show. It was a powerful illustration of the ability of authenticity and empathy to build bridges between people from all walks of life. In a world where appearances often seem to matter more than substance, that brief exchange between Keanu and Harvey served as a vivid reminder of the power of emotional honesty and genuine compassion. Harvey's reaction was an eloquent testament to the strength a genuine message can have, even in a context where interactions are often scripted and predictable. He, who so often was the beacon of joy and inspiration for his viewers, the charismatic conductor who knew exactly how to navigate the waters of public emotions, now showed his own vulnerability without filters or hesitation. It was a moment rarely seen on commercial television, where spontaneity usually gives way to studied performance. His eyes glistening with tears and his expression of deep contemplation conveyed a powerful message that transcended words. Authenticity and vulnerability are crucial for true human connection. Harvey, despite being a public figure with decades of experience in front of the cameras, allowed himself to be simply a man touched by the sincerity of another. In that moment, the showman was gone, leaving only the human being responding to an irrefutable emotional truth. The camera captured the subtle tremor of his lips as he tried to compose himself, the way his hands moved nervously, seeking a physical anchor amidst the emotional storm. These small details, these involuntary manifestations of emotion, were perhaps what resonated most with the public. They were genuine signs that, behind the impeccable suit and charismatic smile, there was a man who knew pain, struggle, and the importance of a comforting word at the right time. This episode of The Steve Harvey Show not only illustrated the media's capacity to create moments of genuine connection when it steps away from pre-established scripts, but also highlighted the importance of showing empathy and support in a world that often seems increasingly divided and individualistic. For a few minutes, millions of viewers were reminded of the unifying power of human compassion, of the impact sincere words can have when offered without expectation of return. Reeves's message, though simple and concise, touched on universal themes of resilience and solidarity, resonating with people of different backgrounds, ages, beliefs, and experiences. There was nothing revolutionary in his words. The power lay in the authenticity with which they were delivered, and the sincerity clearly visible in his eyes. The ancient wisdom that we are not alone in our struggles gained new life through his quiet voice and the visible emotion it provoked. The contrast between the two men made the moment even more impactful. On one hand, Harvey, expansive, extroverted, known for his expressiveness and the way he filled the space with his magnetic presence. On the other, Reeves, reserved, contemplative, almost minimalist in his gestures and expressions. Yet, in that moment, they met on common ground of shared humanity, transcending differences in personality, style, and professional trajectory. The story of Harvey and Reeves is a powerful reminder that, even amidst the glitz and glamour of fame, busy schedules, and public expectations, true connection is based on honesty and empathy. Harvey, by allowing himself to be vulnerable before millions, without trying to mask or minimize his emotion, created a bridge of understanding and affection with his audience, demonstrating that even the most successful and admired feel and are moved just like anyone else. This moment teaches us that true communication goes beyond carefully chosen words and polished presentations. It touches souls when it comes from a place of sincerity. After all of us, regardless of our status or social position, navigate the same ocean of life, facing storms and seeking safe harbors of support and understanding. The difference lies only in the visibility of our journeys, not in their essence. Imagine the feeling of an anonymous fan, sitting at home, perhaps facing a serious illness, financial problems, or grief over a recent loss. This viewer, like so many others, turns on the television perhaps seeking a momentary distraction from their difficulties, a brief relief through entertainment. And then, suddenly, they see a world-renowned actor speaking directly to the heart of people like them, acknowledging their struggles and offering words of encouragement that don't sound like empty cliches, but like lived truths. The impact of this moment was immediate and lasting, extending far beyond the confines of the studio and the show's broadcast time. The images from the video and Harvey's emotional reaction spread with the characteristic speed of the digital age, crossing platforms and borders. Within hours, clips of that interaction were being shared on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Each share accompanied by personal comments revealing how that moment had touched the viewer. Social media, often criticized for promoting superficial and ephemeral interactions, became on that occasion a space for collective reflection on vulnerability, empathy, and human connection. People from different parts of the world, speaking various languages and living distinct realities, found a point of convergence in that brief exchange between Harvey and Reeves. A frequent comment, was about how that moment felt real, in a sea of carefully fabricated content, edited for engagement. It was as if, for an instant, everyone was sharing the same experience, united by a common feeling of vulnerability and resilience. Viewers reported crying along with Harvey, feeling connected not only to the host and the actor, but to a global community of people who understood the importance of kindness and mutual support. Watching Steve Harvey get emotional made me feel less alone in my own moments of fragility, wrote one fan in a comment that received thousands of likes. Psychologists and communication experts were invited to analyze the phenomenon on various programs and publications, highlighting how moments of emotional authenticity in the media can have a collective therapeutic effect. They pointed out how the vulnerability of public figures normalizes emotional expression and combats the stigma associated with displays of sensitivity, especially among men. The image of Harvey, a successful man in a competitive environment, allowing himself to cry in public, was highlighted as particularly significant. Reeves's message touched on universal themes of resilience and solidarity, creating an echo that resonated in countless hearts. Its simplicity and unpretentiousness contrasted with the complexity of the challenges many face, offering not miraculous solutions, but the comforting promise that no one is completely alone on their journey. Reeves, with his own history of personal overcoming after painful losses, lent credibility to his words of encouragement. His simplicity and authenticity were crucial in creating an emotional bond with the audience. In an era of polished and overly produced speeches, of carefully crafted statements by public relations teams, Reeves's naturalness offered a refreshing contrast. There was no great eloquence in his words, no attempt to impress or position himself as an enlightened guru. There was only a human being acknowledging the struggle of another and offering solidarity. Reeves, known for his introspection and kindness, showed that even the most reserved figures can have a profound impact through sincere words and acts of compassion. His off-screen behavior, marked by anonymous acts of generosity and a respectful approach to fans and colleagues, gave even more weight to his message. It wasn't just another celebrity fulfilling a contractual obligation. It was someone whose life exemplified the values his words expressed. Harvey's reaction, in turn, served as a powerful reminder that authenticity and vulnerability are unparalleled communication tools, capable of building bridges of understanding and affection where barriers seemed insurmountable. In a media world where hosts are trained to maintain control in all situations, to be masters of the smooth transition and witty comment, Harvey chose a different path, that of unfiltered emotional honesty. This choice, seemingly simple but profoundly courageous, resonated with millions. In a world where appearance often prevails over substance, where social masks are carefully maintained even before the cameras, moments like this reaffirm our common connection as human beings, reminding us that behind the titles, positions, and public personas, there are people facing challenges and seeking support from one another. This moment on The Steve Harvey Show also highlights the importance of media in creating spaces for authenticity and empathy, when it allows itself to deviate from the script and embrace the unexpected. In an industry often criticized for promoting superficial values and simplistic narratives, that brief exchange between Harvey and Reeves offered a glimpse of the transformative potential that mass media still possesses when prioritizing genuine human connections over sensationalism or empty entertainment. Imagine the scene of a lonely viewer, perhaps an elderly person in a nursing home, or a young person battling depression in their apartment, or an exhausted mother after a long day balancing work and family responsibilities. This anonymous viewer, one among millions, turns on the television seeking distraction and finds, unexpectedly, a mirror for their own emotions and a reminder of their shared humanity. Reeves's message, delivered with such sincerity, and Harvey's genuine reaction create a moment of connection that transcends the screen. This connection, seemingly ephemeral, can have a profound and lasting impact. Research in positive psychology has consistently shown how witnessing acts of kindness and moments of genuine empathy can elevate our mood and inspire similar behaviors. A simple television moment, when marked by emotional authenticity, can become a seed of hope planted in the viewer's heart, reminding them they are not alone in their struggles and that vulnerability is part of the shared human experience. The authenticity of Reeves and the emotional reaction of Harvey not only humanize these public figures, often perceived through the reductive lens of fame, but also reaffirmed the fundamental importance of empathy and mutual support in our contemporary society. In a time marked by ideological divisions, political polarization, and growing social isolation, moments like this serve as temporary bridges between the islands of individuality where many of us live. In a world increasingly connected digitally, we paradoxically experience growing levels of loneliness and emotional disconnection. Social networks, designed to bring people closer, often end up creating impossible comparisons and promoting a culture of appearances where vulnerability is seen as weakness. In this context, moments like the one shared between Harvey and Reeves are crucial to remember that true connection goes beyond screens and carefully edited words. It is a connection that touches souls and strengthens hearts, born from the courage to be authentic, even when it means showing fragility. The disarming sincerity with which Reeves addressed the unknown fan contrasts sharply with the calculated language that characterizes much of celebrity public interaction. There was no trace in him of the condescension that often marks communication between the famous and their admirers. No vestige of the distance deliberately maintained to preserve an aura of exceptionalism. There was only one human being acknowledging the struggle of another and offering what he had. Words of encouragement born from his own experiences of pain and overcoming. Harvey's reaction, in turn, was a vivid demonstration of the power of empathy and how it can surprise us in unexpected moments. As an experienced host, Harvey had certainly witnessed countless emotional stories and interacted with people in vulnerable situations. However, something in Reeves' words struck a particularly sensitive chord, evoking a response that transcended years of professional training and self-control before the cameras. It was a powerful reminder that no matter how many layers of experience and success we accumulate, we remain fundamentally susceptible to emotional truth when it presents itself in its purest form. This episode of The Steve Harvey Show perfectly illustrates the capacity of mass media, when guided by genuine intentions, to create moments of deep connection that reverberate far beyond their original context. In a media landscape often dominated by narratives of conflict, scandal, and superficiality, that brief exchange between Harvey and Reeves offered a necessary counterpoint, reminding both industry professionals and the public of the transformative power of emotional authenticity. In a world where technology and social media often separate us, creating the illusion of connection while deepening isolation, moments like this reaffirm the fundamental importance of showing empathy and offering support in ways that transcend digital barriers. The sincerity of Reeves and the vulnerability of Harvey created an unexpected bond between the actor, the host, and millions of viewers, demonstrating that, even in the age of communication mediated by screens and algorithms, human emotional resonance remains our most universal and powerful language. This moment also invites us to reflect on the nature of fame and its potential both to distance and connect. Celebrities like Reeves and Harvey occupy a peculiar space in the collective imagination. They are simultaneously intimate and distant, known and unknown. When they use their platform to express values of compassion and authenticity, they not only strengthen their bond with the public, but also help shape a culture where these qualities are valued and celebrated above apparent perfection or material success. True human connection transcends the social, cultural, and economic barriers that so often divide us. Reeves, with his simple and sincere message, and Harvey, with his emotional reaction devoid of self-censorship, created a bond that resonated with people from all social strata and cultural backgrounds. The authenticity of Reeves and the vulnerability of Harvey are an eloquent testament to the strength that empathy and compassion can have, even in the most unlikely and public contexts. This moment, captured by the cameras of the Steve Harvey Show and subsequently amplified through countless shares on social media, remains a powerful reminder that, however different we may be in our external circumstances, we share a common humanity, capable of uniting us in moments of true connection and mutual support. Differences in status, fame, wealth, or power may create the illusion of fundamentally distinct lives. But the deeper truth is that we all know joy and pain, hope and despair, and we all need, at different points in our journey, a word of encouragement and the certainty that we are not alone. Reflecting on this seemingly simple, yet profoundly significant episode, we are invited to consider how small moments of authenticity and vulnerability can create ripples of positive impact that extend far beyond their original epicenter. We can realize that true connection and empathy are not just pleasant additions to our social experience, but essential and fundamental elements for the health of our society. They transcend the superficial differences that often divide us and unite us in a shared recognition of our common humanity. Imagine for a moment how the world might be different if more people allowed themselves to be authentic and vulnerable in their daily interactions, as Harvey and Reeves demonstrated in that unforgettable moment before millions. What kind of culture could we create if we valued emotional sincerity above carefully maintained appearances? What kind of communities could we build if we strove to offer words of encouragement and support to one another, even amidst our own struggles? This is the implicit invitation in that brief television moment, not just to witness the connection between two public figures, but to carry the spirit of that interaction into our own lives and relationships.